Let me just tweet it out here so everybody joined in. 1 second here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And what a day today, guys! It was definitely it was Thirsty Thursday. It was Thankful Thursday today. It was a wild Thursday today. So some pretty amazing action, right? Big gap up today, nice push at the open, and then a crazy pullback into the end of the day, just leaving us continuing to be like, wow, this price action is amazing, right? So what a week this week, guys. We've been talking about, we've been doing our series on Could This Be? And we've basically come up with almost every Elliott Wave potential setup that there's been, right? Like multiple corrective setups, and now we're looking at an impulsive setup. So, so today we're gonna finish up this week's series with Could This Be? And this is a 1-2-1-2. So, pretty cool stuff there. Before we get started, everything we're gonna talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off with the market here today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see where we're up to or down to this evening, what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, guys. So SPX, what a day today. So up 36 points today. But it kind of felt like we were down a little bit too, because it was a kind of a nasty pullback, leaving an upper shadow here on the monthly chart. But we are starting to dig away at this bearish engulfing candle here on the monthly. Weekly chart, nice lower shadow off of these other lower shadows here so far. Closing green back above the mid Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart, but also left with a pretty big upper shadow right here too. And what that does on the daily is it's like, I mean, what an amazing move, right? We get this nice gap up. We closed over the 80 EMA yesterday. Anybody who got long yesterday celebrating, yay, high five, beautiful, beautiful day today. Amazon was great. AMD was fantastic. We pointed that out in the public Twitter today with some entry ideas that ended up working phenomenally, right? So some nice move there. IWM was strong today, right? The market was strong, and then it just kind of got really kind of slow here at the highs. Then it was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm not going to try the 50-day moving average today. I'm not going to try to get over the macro downward trend line. I'm just going to go ahead and pull back here in the end of the day. So you can see here, we'll take a look at this one in a little bit. We did get this nice pullback, but let's take a look at the S&P futures. We'll take a glance at that and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So, so pretty interesting stuff, right? So yeah, so there's the move right here. You can see we have this big push at the open right here today. It's just, just to stay up right here. It couldn't get over our signal zone, so that's one indication that it might pull back, right? Now we're looking at the potential for a bull flag right here. We're like, hey, this thing could really move if it breaks out of this bull flag, and it just never got to it. Never got to it. So it got to the bottom of the flag right here, kind of hung out there for a little bit. And once it broke down down there, it's time to just kind of step away or look for short opportunities. And we got back to the overnight highs, kind of bounced off of that there for a little bit, and then just down here into the close for a big move. I mean, basically all the way back to where we started the day. And it was so strong this morning too. And just today, it's just like, okay, right back to where we started. So full circle day today. So we were up 36 points, right? But it didn't feel like it, right? It felt like we were actually kind of back where we started. But the reason that we're up 36 points on the on that chart earlier is because of the gap, right? So pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild price actually. Just slid off of the flag, and then now we're actually up about 6 points right now. So we're basically just kind of drifting up a little bit right here. So we'll see if the bulls have any more strength here, or this could be a bear flag, right? And we could actually break down here going into tomorrow, and also kind of looking like a sideways head and shoulders here as well. So we need to kind of a little bit of caution going into tomorrow. So so pretty interesting stuff. We'll see if we can stay above this, stay in this channel here. But big thing tomorrow morning, guys, is the we've got NFPs on the radar, right? So non-farm payrolls, big job number. Everybody's been anticipating it this week because it's been a pretty boring week economic calendar-wise. Even the jobless claims today, which came in better than expected, didn't really phase the market too much. So the big thing is, right, so jobless claims went down, right? So that means taper more likely, right? So that's kind of bearish on the market. But really tomorrow, we're going to probably see a lot more algos moving things at around 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, because if jobs go up, right, then more chance of taper, which means probably go down. If jobs go down, well, that kind of means the economy is pretty bad, and we'll see where we go from there. So it could be bad both ways. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's get to our topic here today, and let's see what might be setting up here. So could this be a 1-2-1-2? So a 1-2-1-2, what is that? Let's go back to our Elliott Wave conversation here from this week, right? So what is a 1-2-1-2, right? So if we go here and we take a look at we take a look at right, Elliott Wave and just what it is, right? So 5 waves up, right? We talked about what are the rules, right? So the first rule is, right, wave 2 is not going to go past wave 1, so you can't do that. So you got 1, 2. Wave 3 is never the shortest wave. Wave 4 doesn't go past the end of wave 1, right? And wave 5, well, that's it. Those are the 3 rules, right? So what are your waves, right? We did a lot of discussion this week about corrective waves, right? So we got these are ABCs, triangles, right? Flat zigzags are triangles, and then we have our impulsive waves up, right? So each impulsive wave is made up of 5 subwaves, right? So 1, 2, with the same rules, 3, 4, 5, right? So you get a subwave up here, and then here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to work that wave up right here. And of course, you'd have the same thing here on the last wave. 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of lines right there. Okay, so when we say 1, 2, 1, 2, what do we mean? So what we mean by 1, 2, 1, 2 is that, hey, we've got this wave right here. We've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And finish up wave 5, right? So we got this 1, 2 right here, and then within that wave, we've got 1, 2, right? And so that's what we mean by 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so we got a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then what we're looking right here is our favorite waves to trade are waves 3s, waves 5s, and wave Cs, right? And so we got this nice juicy wave in here, which we would assume if it gets the bullish price action, is that we see the wave 3 of 3, and those tend to be really really nice moves, right? Those are nice impulsive waves, and we like to trade those, right? So that's the idea. So let's take a look and see what we got going on here, and let's see if we can spot this 1, 2, 1, 2. Which is pretty cool. So give us 1 second right here. So we get this. Let me just clean this up here, so we're not like in a, on Monday we're not like what are all these lines? Let's get this cleared off here. I wish I think there's some save more memory, so you just Control Z or whatever. But I'll get these here. You could just select them all too, like do a select all. Anyway, okay, so let's take a look at the let's see with the SPX and let's see what we might be looking at going in here. Okay, let's go to the hourly chart. So what we've got right here, right, is a 1, 2, right, potential, right? So remember we looked at this as possible ABC move, right? And what we really were hoping was that this was going to be like kind of like a 1, 2, 1, 2 type move and then get going. But instead, right, we got a big gap up here today. And when you see these big gaps, a lot of times it makes us think that it's a wave 3, right? Because we see those a lot on impulsive waves up, right, on these gaps. So 1, 2, 3. Right? And so you can kind of see that here, right? That's what we actually had yesterday. If we look at this as one, so that was a 1, 2, 1, 2, and you can see how nice that wave was, right? So that was a wave 3 of 3, right? But what we do is one of the things that we can look at here is that this, right, is still a 1, 2, right? And this could be a larger wave 1, right? Because all waves are made up of subwaves. Here's your larger wave 1, 1, 2, and then once this wave finishes up, because we think this is a wave 4, we're looking to finish up with wave 5 tomorrow to kind of finish that wave, right? And then we would expect a wave to pull back, at some distance, and then go, right? And that could be a really really big wave right there, right? So we're looking here as a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then we'll look to jump on wave 3 to the upside. So that's if things are really as bullish as they seem. Tomorrow could kind of the NFPs could change things a little bit, right? This actually could be a finish of a wave right here, and things might be working their way back to the downside. To look for a more bearish wave count, overall over everything. One of the things we could look at right here is that this was sort of like a really the wave 1, right? And this is kind of like a wave 2, right? And then this could be like a kind of like a 1, 2 here of a larger wave 3 down, right? So that is a possibility if we look at it bigger. We've been kind of granular on this, so and the moves have been really sharp, but we really just need to see the reason that we continue to look for bearish setups. Well, we're not just perma bears here. The main reason that we're looking for bearish setups on this thing is that we're still in a downward trend, right? So we lost the macro upper trend line right here. We did a whole series on that, right? And we're still working our way down, right? And we're actually below the bump line, right? We hit the bump line here today, upper side. We got pretty close to the macro downward trend line, but not quite there yet. And we ended up closing below the bump line right here. So we got a gap above, and that's two other interesting things here too. We got a gap above. We got that guy still open. Right, so we are just in the middle right here. So anything could happen going into tomorrow. We got a gap above and a gap below today's price action. So which way will it go? Again, multiple wave counts possible, but we'll see if it's a 1, 2, 1, 2 going into tomorrow. So cool stuff. Well, good. Well, that wraps us up here for this topic for this week. At this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. Try to wrap as early as possible so we all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So we got a few good requests out here, a few remote requests out there. So Shirley sent a few in via email. So let's take a look. We got FCX on the radar. I really like this one. I think this is a strong move, right? This kind of looks like it just. Let me get a trend line on here. This does look like it did a 1, 2, and could be starting a wave 3 up, right? So that's looking pretty good right there. Again, you got some resistance here. You got the cloud, you got the 50-day, 200-day, but again, some more strength on this one could get it going. I do like the FCX chart. It looks pretty good. PDD. Pinduoduo could be working on a doji sandwich, so looking pretty interesting there. Ford, again, I do not trust this name. I do not trust this name. What we could be seeing right here is that I drew a harmonic wing right here that might be working our way down, but I've got this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be finishing up wave 5 up here. Once that wave 5 is done, guys, and that could be the end of this harmonic wing. I think the initial wing I had was right here. Oops. There's my extensions there. So the original harmonic wing I had was going here to here. Right, we're kind of looking at the 1.618. Right, so at this point now, right, if this thing really wants to go, we could get up to the 16 level and kind of finish a crab pattern right here, or the 2.618. So we'll keep an eye on that. I would say the 2.618 would maybe make more sense, and then we'll see what it does here going into earnings. Right, I think the higher this thing goes, the more better chance it gives of giving a short opportunity once finally things start to hit the fan on these automotive manufacturers. Right, yesterday they were just blah blah blahing about how they're going to be in 2030 and how they're going to be all electric and all that stuff. But guys, the automotive companies are so dependent on the cash flow of selling cars, just like any company, right? If you're in the business of selling something, whatever that product is, you need to sell that product, right, to keep your cash flow going, kind of keep things running. And right now, there's no cars on the lots because of these chip shortages, at least in a bunch of different areas around the country. And I don't know how long these automobile manufacturers can kind of hang on there, going forward. Right? Very, very scary stuff here for these manufacturers. So the real question is, if that does happen, are we going to step up and bail them out again, like we did in 2008? Or are they too big to fail again? Or can we all get some free cars out here if we're going to bail them out? Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But keep an eye on them, see how it goes. Interesting candle right here on Ford, and we'll see what happens here over the next month, right? As we go through earnings, and we'll see what happens. So good stuff there. Anyway, Twitter. Let's see here. Great candle on Twitter right here. A little bit of an upper shadow at the 50-day moving average and snow. 1, 2, 3 up, right? 3 white soldiers up right here. Again, a little bit of an upper shadow on that one, so some caution there. See if it can continue to work its way. But a nice move here on snow. It hasn't, been nice bounce off of the 50-day moving average. Took a couple days, but it really, started to get going. So good find on snow. Great stuff. And OTA sent a few in here via Twitter. So let's take a look here and see what we've got. So you've got Facebook on the radar. Very bearish on this Facebook move. Obviously, anything could happen going into NFPs tomorrow. But we have this bear flag move down here, right? Here's your symmetrical move, right? If this thing's ready to really kind of go, right? This breakdown right here off of this ADMA today was very ominous with an increased volume move. Could really work its way down to the 200-day moving average, right? So I think it's still worth keeping on the bearish radar. Apple, let's take a look. And also under the ADMA. Apple with a potential doji sandwich here over the ADMA. So see if Apple gets strong tomorrow. AMD, I mean, it's kind of is what it is. I told you guys last night that I love this candle. I love how it closed over our old geometric line. I love how it pierced the cloud. Love the increased volume. Love that I closed over the ADMA. We got a nice gap up here and a good push today. We actually pointed out several day trade opportunities in the public Twitter today, but also in the group as well, and really turned into a phenomenal trade on AMD today. NVIDIA, again, not as nice as AMD, but possible doji sandwich here. If we can kind of get a nice little gap up tomorrow, we might see a nice measured move up. So keep an eye on that. If the market is strong tomorrow, NVIDIA could be interesting. And then Airbnb, let's take a look. Airbnb could be a doji sandwich too, right? Nice strong candle yesterday. Again, I would love to have seen a little bit more volume. Pause day today, and then we'll just see if it tries to push here, give us a little doji sandwich up on that one. So we'll see how that goes there for Airbnb. So good stuff. Options, rocks, and a few in via Twitter here as well. Let's take a look at Trip. So Trip, again, decent gap up there today, and then just kind of pulled right back to the 80-man on that one. So see if that can hold. Piton, decent day today, right? We liked this outside day yesterday, almost a bullish engulfing candle, and a nice gap and push today, and a close over the 80-man. A little bit of an upper shadow, but definitely a strong day today. We liked, what do we like today? Yeah, I was looking bull flaggish right here. We got a little bit of movement, no follow through on that today, but very, very nice, strong move at the open. The rest of the day was just kind of blah on it, right? So, but it ended up being a good candle. So good stuff there. And then Phil sent a few in via Twitter earlier for the lunchtime. I didn't see it until later. So Phil, we're getting to it right now. So hopefully you get to check this one out. But we got WTI, so W&T Offshore Inc. Decent candle today. Nice bounce off the 80 in the cloud. Could be working on a flag type pattern here. Just kind of keep an eye on it, see how it goes. But again, decent candle here today. I wouldn't be surprised if we chop around a little bit, but once we get a nice volume candle out of here, maybe it'll get ready to get going. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on there on WTI. In terms of wave counts, maybe kind of a 1, 2, could be working on a larger wave 3. So again, generally looking overall pretty bullish there. So some good stuff there. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, so Amazon. Again, big gap up here today, guys. We like this. We pointed this out at the close yesterday on our live stream in the group. We like the inside-outside day, and we really particularly like that the outside day closed above the inside day high. And, of course, we got a nice gap up today as expected. We also said last night there was room to the 80 MA, right? And it gave us a nice push up here and then left us with an upper shadow at the 200 day on that one. And, of course, we got Bitcoin on the radar. So Bitcoin, guys, we pointed this out in the group at 5 a.m., 4 days ago, looking like a harmonic pattern was setting up, and it started to break out nicely after that, like almost 5 minutes later, gave us a 2,000 point move, and now it's like up $10,000 from when we pointed it up. It's looking like a crab pattern, really. We're kind of sitting at the 2.618, so that is a possibility. It might finish it up here as a butterfly, but if it's got any more room to it and some strength, maybe it just wants to tag the 80 MA and then get going. Then 60,000 is the crab pattern harmonic target. So pretty cool stuff there. Jameis, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got Tesla. So again, Tesla with a kind of an interesting move here today. Really just kind of choppy stuff. Yesterday was really choppy. Today was super duper choppy. And the majority of this candle just came in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, right? So we were really, really tight. And then things just kind of got explosive right here as they head into their, they had their investor day today. And it doesn't look like we got any action off of that here after hours. So just pretty boring stuff. But it did leave us with an upper shadow right here to contend with going into tomorrow. So let's definitely keep an eye on that. But good job. Thanks for pointing out Tesla. I love it. Angela, what's going on? PLTR. So this one is actually kind of on the bearish radar right here. We had a big down move the other day. Another inside day. It had that, the contract news, but it came right off the 50-day, 200-day bow tie. And now, if we lose this inside day on the downside, I think PLTR could be a jack in the box to the downside. So just we'll see how that goes there. Again, back under the 80 MA on this one. And then DM, again, a little bit rough here. Basically just kind of chopping around after hours. Bit of an upper shadow here, despite that it closed over the 80 MA on this one. So let's see how that goes. Also an ADR, which makes it pretty tough. Yeah, so jack in the box is basically, it's an inside day that looks like it's gearing up for a move, right? So it's like, like here you got this inside, and then boom, you get this nice move here. So again, but we try to look for it kind of like in a trending type move, like here. I would call this guy right here, Jack, but kind of trending down, gets really tight, and then gives us a move down. So we might be seeing that with PLTR as well. Good. Yeah, VWAP Nation, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Thierry, what's going on? Neo. Let's take a look. So Neo, again, nice gap up today. It's on the bullish radar. Again, this prior support here is acting as resistance. We got an upper shadow on this one here, but the Chinese electric vehicle names were strong today. We talked about the possibility of Neo playing catch up to Li, right? That had a really strong candle at the open today too, and XPEV. That was a strong candle at the open. You can see Neo was kind of chopping around at the open, then it did play catch up later. So that was something that we pointed out on the live stream this morning. Ended up being a pretty decent close over the 80 MA, but it's really got to get above these recent highs to get kind of exciting, right? So, we got a couple levels of interest above. So we'll see how it goes here on Neo, but generally pretty bullish here based on today's action. So good stuff there. Hey, Kalani, Hawaii, what's going on? Netflix on the radar. Again, I mean, when will this thing go down, right? We had a bearish engulfing candle right here. No, big strong candle the next day. We were bullish on it going in today off of the inside day, popped to the upside. But today, guys, we gapped up and came back in over 50% of the range below it. This is dark cloud cover. So we got two nasty bearish candles here in a row off of all-time highs. Let's see if it's ready to pull back to the 80 MA or not. So pretty cool stuff there. And Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. You got skills. Skills, what skills to pay the bills? So let's take a look. So you got skills on the radar. Let's take a look and see how it's doing. So skills, again, upper shadow off the 80 MA. Again, it had a decent pop here intraday and then ended up kind of pulling back off of that. And Kalani, Hawaii, let's take a look. You got NVIDIA. Pretty nice move. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right there. Okay, back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so Nvidia. Let's take a look here. So Nvidia looking kind of interesting. Let's take a look at the recent levels right here. So possible doji sandwich. It rejected the 50-day moving average, but if we get a strong move, we gap over to these highs. Nvidia could get going again. Let's see how those job numbers come in. And Gooey, what's going on? Going to see a slob. Let's take a look. Schlumberger again got an upgrade this morning. Again, decent here for the oil names. A little bit tricky here with a lot of these upper shadows, so we'll see how that goes from there. And good stuff. Awesome on SLB. Tracy, what's going on? Going to see a AFRM. Everybody's been loving this name. Huge day yesterday, but kind of calmed down a little bit. But big day off of that inside day. So kind of like a jack in the box up on that one. And XENE, let's take a look here. Again, double inside day on this one, getting really, really tight. So, I mean, it's probably getting ready to move one way or the other. Maybe they're waiting, or they just got some FDA news or something like that on the Xenon. Raises $300 million. Well, that's pretty good. So we'll see where it goes from there. But getting really tight up here. Let's see if we can kind of break out of that range. So, so good stuff there. John Turner, what's going on? DOCN, let's take a look. Yeah, working its way up here off of yesterday's strong candle. Some very nice stuff there. PD. Again, nice gap up there today. Upper shadow off the ADMA. JMIA. Finally got over the ADMA, but now has to contend with the 50-day. Big C. Sitting on the 80-day, big upper shadow, makes it tough. FTCH, decent push here today. Morning star reversal, looks good. A push over these highs with some strength. Could get this thing going back over the 80 and kind of get going again. So nice find on FTCH for the morning star reversal. And then ONDS, let's take a look. Decent move right there. Possible pause day here today. FSOI. Recovering a little bit. Possible pause day on this one here after it's the internet debacle the other day. Roku. Possible doji sandwich working its way up, or doji reversal. GSHD. GSHD. Goosehead, yeah, inside day up today. Strong candle. See if that continue to keep going. Wing. I know you asked about this one the other day. Inside day with a big upper shadow on that. Watch if it breaks its way down. AVAV. Morningstar reversal on this one too. Nice the upper shadow, but looking pretty interesting on that one there too. And then Coin. Getting there, yeah. So let's take a look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, so again, getting really, really tight down here, but strong, decent move right there. Yeah, pushing its way, trying to get above these 3 weekly candles on that one for a nice move right there. Heading into the cloud and over the 50-day moving average. Nice stuff there on Coin. And Shreya, what's going on? Good to see you. Pins. Finally got back above the 80 MA. Just watch your geometric lines that we drew yesterday. Wicks. Yep, decent candle there. A little bit of a wick off of the 80 MA on that one. So let's see if I can get above there. Sam, yeah, getting some nice volume in here, guys. Looks like there's some accumulation going on, so that's looking definitely interesting there as well. SMG, big upper shadow, kind of a shooting star, so a little bit of caution off of that. And Tree, again, shooting star or upper shadow off of the 80 MA, but finally got a little bit of action. Like you guys said yesterday, definitely some volume coming in here too. Watch this geometric line if we can get above it with some volume as well. So good stuff, guys. Awesome. Well, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been a fun week this week of our series of Could This Be? And tomorrow we're going to see, could it be a 1-2-1-2? We'll see what these job numbers come out, what these NFPs look like coming in tomorrow. It's kind of been the big hype all week. So we'll see if we get any actual action off of it tomorrow and where we go from there. So, guys, tomorrow's Friday. I hope everybody has an awesome trading day tomorrow. We'll see you guys here on YouTube bright and early for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Until then, guys, stay healthy out there. And remember,